Justin Smith to inbound the basketball. Half-court stripe, Zeller. Here's the shot at the buzzer. He makes it! He made it!
If you drive through the country back then, there was a basketball hoop everywhere.
So there were 74 boys in the top 4 grades at Milan. 58 of them came out for basketball.
It's the passion, the camaraderie.
I've played all over the world, and definitely I feel like Indiana is respected and well known for basketball.
The way that the people here in the state have embraced Indiana high school basketball is really unbelievable.
It's the euphoria, it's the excitement, we played on every Friday, Saturday night.
It's the happiest days of my life. I went to school, went to church, went to Tennessee to see my grandparents, and played basketball. That's all that. And it was such a happy time. You never thought about anything else at all.
Think back to when I was growing up and playing in Indiana, growing up with a basketball court on my driveway, and just trying to get to that level, to get to high school basketball. My biggest goal was to play varsity basketball all 4 years.
You know, there's really never a time that I can remember that I didn't play basketball. You know, I have a picture of me when I was first born, and my dad's holding me in one hand and a basketball in the other hand, and you know, so it's kind of gone on from there.
My dream was to play basketball, and having the opportunity to play with the boys was the only opportunity I had, because the girls did not play back then.
There were a lot of things that led me to pick up basketball. One was the fact that growing up in a town of 75 people, Pierceville, Indiana, there wasn't a lot to do. When Mom died when I was 5, my father went to work in a pump factory, and he built a backboard and a goal and a basketball and gave it to me when I was in the 4th grade. I remember sitting up in the stands, even at that young age, just thinking, if I could, you know, maybe be good enough to get a uniform and sit on the bench for the varsity, my life would be complete.
Well, growing up early, we didn't have a goal, a regular size goal, but we had rubber balls and tin cans. That's really how we started. Then at school, we had an opportunity to use regular basketball, regular size, and we had goals. But at home, it was always a rubber ball and the tin cans.
Everyone in our neighborhood played, and there was guys who someone always had a little basket up on a garage in an alley in a little area that we lived in. And that's how it all started for me.
Well, when you're a coach's son in the 1st, 2nd grade, you're just trying to stay out of lockers. The current team is stuffing you in, so you're just trying to survive those moments. But you get to play horse. You get to grow up playing against juniors and seniors. And I can remember having all the lights on, playing horse in the bright lights of the field house. You learn to shoot, you learn to play the game, and you do that at a very young age, being a coach's kid.
It was amazing. You know, there's signs in our yards. People are like, good luck, Katie, good luck to the team. Just the amount of support I think that we got as a team was just tremendous in our community. You know, we live in Indianapolis, a bigger city, but you could definitely feel the community rally around our team. And it was kind of something different because it was girls basketball, it was women's basketball, so it wasn't maybe something that was of the norm at that time, but it was definitely something that I felt like the community rallied around.
In the early 60s, there was a lot of things going on in our country, and what we did here at Washington transcended all of that, transcended race. We were able to play with white athletes and black athletes, and never even thought about what color the guy who's on your team is, because you cared so much about him as a teammate and as a human being. And our coaches here at Washington taught us all of that.
It was very much like Hoosiers, because you know, you'd be sitting in the locker room and you would hear the chants, the Lady Patriots, Seeger Patriots, and you would hear the crowd, and it was just something that this little flicker inside of you that just burned really bright once you started hearing that, and the pride that came in. And when you look back on it and you think about, wow, the impact that we had on our community and the impact that our community had on us. You know, I was really, really lucky to be a part of such a special group, but such a special environment.
You know, we had a mayor that declared us the basketball capital of Indiana, one year. So, it was just everybody got on board. I mean, when there was a game, the town shut down. Everybody was going to the game. We were taking as many fans on the road with us as the home team is having. So, just to have that type of support, again, looking back on it now, I mean, as a 16, 17-year-old kid, I don't know that you understand it, I don't know that you really care. You're just out playing the game with a bunch of friends. But, now, in your 40s, you can look back and be very proud, of the support that the community gave you and all the great memories.
It's definitely unique. I think I saw a list not too long ago about some of the most prominent field houses high school wise in the country, and I feel like it was like Indiana in the top 20. And it's definitely a unique experience. And again, I've played all over the country, and I know that not every state is blessed to have these kind of facilities and have these kind of huge field houses.
I would say probably the Seymour gym. It's probably the other gym other than this one that I played the most games in. That was, at that time, that's where the sectional and regional were held. Back when I was playing, they were a conference opponent as well. So every other year we were playing a conference game there. And people kid, I don't know whether it's true, but they say I hold the building scoring record at Seymour, and didn't even go to school there.
Oh, we loved playing in the high school gym because it was smooth. We didn't have to worry about hitting rocks or sideways things.
I can remember in high school sitting there looking out on a Friday afternoon, and there'd be two lines around our gymnasium just for people getting tickets trying to get into our game that night. So being a young kid growing up and seeing that, to me, it was mind-boggling.
Let's go to the state finals. 2 games that morning, 2 winners play that night. $3.50, and I talked to people that paid $50 to get in. That's the type of interest that was generated.
You're just happy. I mean, just happy like any kid playing basketball in Indiana, happy that we won. Well, I think every kid who plays high school basketball in Indiana, their ultimate dream is to be on a state championship team. The feeling I had after we won that state championship, getting a ride on the bus around the circle downtown, and then that bus coming back here for a big bonfire in the back on the football field. That memory's etched in my mind.
Well, the first time I really knew anything about the state tournament, I can remember watching George McGinnis and his team play on TV. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how good they were and how big and strong they were. I think I was either in the 7th or 8th grade, but it was on TV, and watching that game was just wow. I mean, how do you do that? How do you get that good? So really, George McGinnis is the first one I've seen play at a high level in the state tournament.
Yeah, one of the things I always remember about tournament time here in Newcastle was that everybody built up the enthusiasm and excitement, like a lot of towns. But you'd drive through town and you'd see picket fences now that would be green and white, and you'd have windows painted in downtown Newcastle, and just the entire community about Trojan pride and getting ready for the sectional that happened, to where all the county schools would come in and the rivals that we had with the county schools. Those are special memories when the hype gets continued to build up. They bring in the temporary bleachers to put up because of the crowds, and then you're going through a sectional where you've got 9,300 plus fans in here for the sectional. That was an exciting time.
Greatest day ever for Oscar Roberts. Learn to compete.
Basketball in Indiana has a special legacy. It starts with the coaches, develops with the fans, and ends with an amazing community support.
I think one of these days when you're done and you're retired and you kind of shelve that piece of your life, you can look back and be like, wow, that's really incredible.
To play in a state tournament, to be able to play in college, to be able to coach high school girls, and then to be able to see my son coach, basketball has been my life.
Any opportunity I got to play basketball, I played it. That's what I wanted to do. That's what I love doing, and still today I love the game.
And every time Dad put me in, I think as a freshman and sophomore, there was booing. And then the exciting turnaround when I was a junior and senior, every time he took me out, he got booed. So those were fun times. When your sons are involved with that, it just makes it much more special. So all these times that you go through and the hard work and the competitiveness of the games and practices, when you're doing that and living that with your own children, that's a very special blessing.
Basketball got me an education. Got me to be a worldly person as far as reading articles. Got me to be artistic and understand the cultures of the world, the ballet, the opera. It just opened up your whole mind and thoughts about things other than what you can reach out and touch.
Because I never dreamed of going to college, and basketball gave me the opportunity to not only go to college, but play professional ball, and I've been around it my whole life. I'm 58 now, and I've been involved for a lot of years.
Where else can you walk around a 65-year-old man and people say, George, oh, I remember you in '69 with your high school state championship team. I saw you at Butler. I mean, it's incredible. This is the only place here in Indiana that happens.